Peace, family. Welcome to another episode of Underground Railroad Productions, UGR TV. This is your host, Brother Rich. I'm in the building with Brother Mike. Welcome back, Brother Mike.
Peace, welcome. Thank you for having a brother.
All right. It's funny. The last segment we did was on. We're going to talk about sports today.
Yes, sir.
The last segment we did was on sports, and we was talking about Stephen Curry.
Yes, sir.
About the inspiration that he brings with his work ethic.
Yes.
And I love talking about pop culture because, it's a good way to teach the people because everybody's tuned in. So
Yes,
it's a good way for them to relay a message, a conscious message through the means of pop culture and sports and stuff like that. We always talk about the black family. Brother Mike is one of the brothers that has always been an inspiration to me as far as a family man. As far as having a woman, as far as having that nucleus, that family, as far as being a father. So wanted this topic here with Stephen Curry and his wife, Ayesha Curry, I think you're the perfect person to talk to about this. Now, Ayesha Curry made some comments after they lost Game 6 of the NBA Finals saying that she tweeted. She tweets a lot. She's very active on Twitter.
Right.
But her last tweet kind of got her, and if you want to call it trouble, or kind of got people talking. She said she felt like the NBA was rigged,
Right.
for either money or ratings, both, whatever.
Right.
And people was like, after that, people was like, man,
Can't say that.
yeah, you can't say that. She need to shut her damn mouth up. I was looking at, I was on Instagram, I was on Twitter, and I was looking at something, Lil Duval, the comedian Lil Duval?
Yes.
He wrote, once a month, you got to tell your old lady, bitch, shut the fuck up. Otherwise, they start acting like Ayesha Curry. So,
Wow.
There's this, there's this perception that, I guess, as a woman, you shouldn't be too outspoken. When you have a man or a powerful man, you should, stand behind your man. Or if you stand beside him, let him do the talking. And, you stay in a woman's place. So one of the things that, as everybody knows, Stephen A. Smith, some people love him, some people hate him.
Right.
He immediately after that, so after Ayesha Curry said what she said, he made some comments. He said that she stepped out of line, she stepped out of pocket.
Right.
He said that she's a reflection of the Golden State Warriors and his team, and she should be more mindful of what she represents to the public. He said you can't get caught up in your own individual emotions and having this zest to speak out to the point where it compromises your husband. That is not what you should be doing. And the fact that she did it, she was wrong, and it came across as very classless.
Mm-hmm.
Brother Mike, is this a thing where, a gender thing where because she's a woman, people are saying she shouldn't speak? Or is it a thing of, you're with a powerful individual?
Right.
So if I was with a powerful female, I should learn to shut the hell up sometime. I shouldn't be so vocal because she's a powerful figure. So are we taking this out of context and running with the gender thing? And maybe we might be so tainted from so many years of oppressing women in this country that would make it as something that it really isn't.
Yeah.
What do you look at this? Because this is important because the world is trying to redefine gender roles at this time.
Right.
So being a man that's married, I want to talk to you, Brother Mike. What you think about this situation?
First of all, once again, let me just say thanks to Brother Rich, Underground Railroad Productions, for giving a brother an opportunity to voice a voice in the hood, and for everybody that he gives a voice in the hood to. I also want to give a shout out to Nicholas, Brooklyn here, for opening their doors for us so that we can actually do what we do here. And I also want to give a shout out to my wifey, Eveline, being that we were talking about wives and everything. So let me give a shout out to my wifey, Eveline, Peace Queen. So one of the things I would first say is that, a lot of people have their own agendas. So, they're going to seize on an opportunity to be able to speak about different topics, different things. And, although it can be looked at from some of the comments that some people are making, that it is very sexist, but there's some merit to what Stephen A. Smith is saying. Now, I don't agree with where he says that she's a reflection on the Golden State Warriors, because she's not under contract with the Golden State Warriors. You know, though she's married to someone who is, she has the freedom to speak her mind the way that she wants to speak her mind. You know, she has that right and that ability to do so. But with that being said, there's also a great responsibility knowing that her husband is a part of that franchise and is a part of that organization. So what she says can be used against him or make him look bad or put him in a bad light. So she has to be mindful of that at the same time. And sometimes it's best to choose your words wisely and how you put it out there. At the moment, you know, I kind of equated what she said to kind of like when you go back to, remember with Richard Sherman in the Super Bowl, when you're caught in the heat of a moment and somebody catches you right at that moment, that raw moment, so you're going to come out and say exactly how you're feeling at that moment. There's a very good chance, especially if you haven't been used to or been in that type of situation on a regular basis where you know how to navigate through that. So I can understand, you know, the raw emotion of it. So I don't have a problem with that, you know, with what she said, or, you know, and I think some people are making a lot more to what she said than needs to be made. You know, if you go back a few days ago, there was a whole bunch of people saying how the suspension of Draymond Green was the league getting what they wanted. You know what I mean? So in that statement in itself, they're saying pretty much a similar thing, insinuating that the league is fixing things to get things the way that they want it. So her saying that shouldn't be such a big deal. You know, so I think even Stephen A. Smith said something to that in one of his commentaries, that the league got what they want, he got what he want, people got what they want, when, you know, as far as Draymond Green getting suspended and Cleveland winning, you know, Game 5. So, you know, I think there's a lot of people who are putting too much into it, but there is a undercurrent of sexism when you start listening to certain people say, you know, like the quote you gave just a little while ago by the comedian brother, you know, Lil Duval.
Duval, yeah.
Yeah, and, you know, that, to me, that's taking it a step further than it needs to be taken. You know, first of all, his wife. So, of course, she's going to stand with her husband. You know, so that's off the cuff should be, you know, just off the grip, that should be expected, that she's going to stand by her husband. And then when you catch her again in that raw moment, she's going to speak it the way she's feeling at that moment. I'm sure if she had a moment to kind of think it through and then had a chance to comment, she may have commented differently. Maybe not. But, you know, I think there is a lot more being made about it than really needs to be made. I think that people are making a big deal. It sells papers. You know, all these people, you know, these commentators, of course, they're going to jump on it because it's their job to, you know, to make headlines and to speak about things and make money off of that. So they're going to jump all over that and look for different angles to be able to make some press.
Well, is it maybe, I want to ask you, do you think Stephen A. is on to something? Because he said that, you know, he's at a lot of the games, obviously. He's a sports analyst. LeBron's wife, Savannah, she's at most of the majority of the games.
Right.
Doesn't get camera shine like Ayesha Curry.
Right.
Now, he didn't say it directly, but a lot of people feel as though that not only the NBA, but television, if you're going to have somebody black on television, Ayesha Curry and Stephen Curry, light skin, high yellow, green eyes. She got long, straight hair. His mother has long, straight hair. His father's light skin. It's you know, if it was you know, in times of slavery, they would have said that the house niggas versus the field niggas.
Right.
LeBron and Savannah would have been the field niggas, and Curry and his family would have been the house niggas.
Right.
So, is there something more to what Stephen A. Smith is saying that society or the media doesn't want to talk about, and that is that they don't mind having the image of some high yellow niggas up there, and if they're gonna show the image of black love, they don't mind it being two lighter skinned blacks. Then, you know, somebody would say LeBron's wife looks more urban. She's curvier, she's dark skinned, she just have more urban features to LeBron. Is, you know, they had him on the cover one time. looking like Godzilla with the with the white woman. You remember that
looking
with
like King Kong.
King Kong? Yeah, I'm sorry, King Kong. Yeah. So
Yeah.
what do you think? Do you think is that what Stephen A. Smith was alluding to, but he was too scared to say?
So it's a possibility. I mean, if you're really paying attention to media and what goes on, and with this, the sojourn of our people in this country, that is not even something that we need to argue about. I defy people to go on TV right now and find 3 healthy dark-skinned couples that you see on a regular basis. I haven't seen them.
Right.
Commercials, TV programs. You know what I mean? And again, I stress it. Healthy. You know what I mean? So it's a real scenario that you're speaking about. Now I don't know if Stephen A's intent was to bring that out, or if that's where he was coming from, but that's a definite reality. I would say that yes. I don't know if LeBron's wife is either intentionally not wanting to be the focus or be on the television or be in front of the mic all the time, or if it's something that's the sickness that we live in this country, as far as having to pass that brown paper bag test and be lighter than a brown paper bag in order for you to pass. I don't know if it's either or, because I'm not privy to that situation. She could be making a conscious effort to not want to be in the public spotlight all the time and not want to having to deal with that type of situation. But I would not be surprised if it was a situation where the media did not intentionally did not give her the same type of shine and the same type of opportunity that they give Stephen Curry's wife. And it's not a knock on Stephen Curry and his wife for anything like that. It's the reality of the society that we live in. This is something that's been deep rooted and has never been uprooted to the fullest. And we still go through it on a regular basis. Even within our own community, that's still something that we battle with. Right, so right. It's real.
Now, when situations like this arise, a lot of women, the first thing they say, and it's all over social media, is that they'll say, this ain't the old times. We ain't got to just be quiet. Or, if I remember when Erykah Badu said women should wear long skirts, women would say, this ain't old times. We ain't got to dress like that. We could dress how, it's more of they want more freedom, I guess they feel.
Right.
From the standards that was placed on women for in the past. I want to ask you, Brother Mike, do you think that it seems to be, do you think that there's some holes in that logic with women? Because I look at it like this, Mike. If a shooter came in this store right now, and there's 7 couples in the store, I guarantee you, all 7 of those women are gonna want their man to shield them and protect them from that shooter.
And they should, yes.
And they should. But according to their logic, gender equality. A nigga might say, shit, gender equality, bitch, you shield me. That's what, if you're gonna use that logic, a brother might say that. Gender equality, I ain't gotta shield you.
Right.
This is equal rights. Shit, fuck that. So do you think they want to be a woman when it's convenient? Like if a shooter's in here, I want to be a woman, nigga, protect me, shield me. But when it's, I want to show my ass with a skirt, or I want to be vocal, then it's, don't hold me back. Let me do what I want to do. So do you think there's some holes in that logic and they use it to their convenience? What you think about that, Mike?
Yes, there are some women who absolutely, I'm trying to word this properly, they kind of get it a little twisted with, the difference between, first of all, showing off your body is not necessarily what makes you a woman. Doesn't make you a freer woman. In these days and times, there is logic to wanting to not show off your body. There's some logic to it. And also, even going back to, the principle of why that is. It's not just about oppressing women and oppressing women, and it's for some folks, we should say, because we got to be real and we got to be 100% about it. There are some people who are about that. There are men who are like that, who are controlling and want to control women and not feel that women deserve certain rights and certain things of that nature. With that being said, you know, there are some women out there who want to play both sides of the fence. You know, and like you said, when it's convenient, they want to throw up the I'm every woman, you know, independent woman fist, but then also want to slide back and forth between that and, okay, I'm vulnerable. Now your turn to step up and protect me. You know, there's a lot that goes into that. You know, first, I always like to start with us as men. You know, if we were doing a better job as men, perhaps they would be more willing to understand and listen to what we're saying. Some of us who are saying that, you know, but yeah, you know, you got sisters out there who definitely play both sides of the fence, and really without the lack of understanding of where some of the stuff came from and why. You know, I think they need to really look into, well, why would Erykah Badu say you should wear a long skirt? You know, is there some sense in that?
Right.
Or is it, you know, you have to look at what a person is saying and why. You have to judge it based off of who it's coming from, and is there some truth or some principle around what they're saying, and not just off the emotion of I want to do what I want to do. You know, when we start going off our emotions and our desires, a lot of times we get ourselves in a whole world of trouble. And then we wondering why, you know, these things happen. There's no coincidence that, you know, women, you know, I had a friend of mine who said she used to have to walk the streets looking as if she was a Muslim in order for brothers not to holler at her. Now, she said that didn't stop some brothers from hollering at her regardless, you know, but at the same time, it lessened what she had to deal with on a regular basis and how brothers approached her. So to me, that says that there is some wisdom behind what Erykah Badu was saying, and it's not coming from being sexist or being controlled or trying to suppress you as a woman. I mean, there's a time and a place for everything and an environment for everything. The unfortunate part is we don't live in the type of environment that's conducive to women being free like that. We don't have, we grow up in a hypersexual society where the men aren't groomed to deal with that, to deal with their sexuality, you know, and how to respect a woman's sexuality. You know, that rites of passage aspect of it, where men were groomed so that they could deal with that and know how to deal with a woman's sexuality and a woman's body and being exposed to that. We don't live in that type of society. So it's real tough. You know, so you got to kind of play it according to your environment sometimes. You know, if you're gonna expose yourself like that, then you have to also be prepared to deal with everything that comes along with that. So that's all I would say about it.
Let me play devil's advocate for a second.
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm one of these new age, let's say I'm a feminist.
Okay.
I hear you speaking, and I say, Brother Mike, with all due respect, I hear what you're saying.
Yes.
This is 2016. These roles that they have been trying to give women no longer apply, and I feel as though, Brother Mike, for a man to say that he is the head of the family is sexist.
Okay.
I don't think that men should say that they're the head of the family no more.
Okay.
And it seems like this is where it's going. Women in the past, women felt, you know, it was known that the man had the final say. I guess is that right to say the man had the final say so or something like that? Is that pretty much how?
Yes,
in a lot of households.
Yes,
so
that was
there's a group of
structure.
women that will sit here and tell you that shit is played out, Mike. Men being the head of the household. What would you say to that, Brother Mike?
Well, as an individual, she would have the right to say that for herself. You know, if that's what you want to subscribe to, you know, if it's working for you, then okay, that's fine. But if it's not working for you, then perhaps you might want to re-examine that. You know, if your goal is to be in a family unit, you know, and if you truly understand what that means, at certain points in times, each person takes the lead in that relationship, and there's a mutual respect. But for the sake of order, there's always one that's put out in front or who is the final say in certain things. I don't see it. One of the things I would challenge them and say, well, why would you have a issue or a problem with a man being out in front? Why is that automatically sexist if the man is put out in front, if that's what you agree upon? I think it is totally sexist to say that a woman can't lead. I would argue that all day long, because that's not the truth. And us as black folk, what we've been through, we know that women can lead. But at the same time, we also know that men and women need each other. And there's a reason why that is. There's a fit that goes. And it works well when both are edified properly and both come in with their right minds. Then great things can grow from that. So I don't see why a person would have a problem. I would throw the question back on them and ask those feminists, well, what really is your issue with having men out in front? Do you have a problem with following men? Or is the issue that you just don't want to, which I would agree that to say that that's all a woman should be able to do, to me, that's us as men, really, we're actually hurting ourselves when we have that perspective, that that's all a woman can do, and that she has to, she always has to be behind us and so forth and so on, and that there's no place for women to lead at. I think we're nullifying a whole aspect of ourselves and our community when we do that. So I think there's a big difference between the two. And I think they need to be clear on what that is. And sometimes I don't think they are.
Indeed, brother. One more question, Brother Mike.
Yes.
Immediately following Stephen A. Smith comments, Ayesha Curry said that she doesn't understand why he's trying to, he compared her to Savannah,
Right.
LeBron's wife. She immediately said that she doesn't know why he would pit two women against each other.
Mm-hmm.
That made me immediately think, because one of my first questions was about the dark skin, light skin thing. Do you think that they're not showing LeBron's wife is because she's of a darker hue? And when Ayesha Curry tweeted this, it made me think maybe she didn't get like how I got what Stephen A. he might have been implying.
Right.
My question to you, Brother Mike. Now I'm high yellow. I know what it is. I don't have one of these this light skinned nigga complex when I don't know what it is in this country about light skinned people and dark skinned people. I know what it is. I'm gonna say it. I'm not gonna act like we get treated exactly the same. I go on a job, you go on a job. They may look at us a little different.
Right.
For whatever reason. Do you think a lot of light skinned people, maybe Ayesha Curry, they fail to understand what darker skinned black people go through in this country? Because nobody wants to be a part of, when you talking shit, it's like guilt, like white guilt.
Right.
White people don't want to be a part of a race that has done so much atrocities around the world. So they feel a little guilty. I ain't do that shit.
Right.
Why you I wasn't a slave owner. So light skinned people, like black people, might be like, well, shit, I get oppressed too, nigga. Well, why you saying something about light skin? So it's like a guilt thing. So do you think there's a little bit of guilt with lighter skinned blacks in this country, Brother Mike?
I don't know if I would say a guilt more so than I would say just kind of what you first said. A lot of light skinned folk may not understand. What is, it's kind of like, how we say to white folks, you'll never understand what we've gone through as black people. As the darker hue of black folks, it's harder for those who are lighter to understand what we've gone through.
Right.
At the same time, because of the fact, even from, like as I said earlier, from our own people being the butt of the jokes, stuff. Yeah. So if I ask you right now, give me 5 light skin jokes.
Well, they got a lot of light skin memes on there.
Right?
Yeah.
But then I ask you, give me some black jokes. Like dark skin jokes. I would be willing to bet that the dark skin jokes would far outweigh the light skin jokes.
You're right about that.
You know, far outweigh the light skin jokes. Like that used to be the staple of, you know, when we played the dozens and we snapping on each other and stuff like that. Your mother's so black.
Yeah, right.
Like, so you got tons of those.
Right.
You know, speaking for myself, it took me a long time to be comfortable in the skin that I was in because I was dark skinned. And I used to get it from so many different sides. You know, within the family, within my own family, you know, outside of the family, friends and stuff. And I know, you know, now I know that they didn't mean harm in that. And I understood, I understand now the society that breeds that type of thinking and that type of thought process and that type of ill-spoken words about darker people. You know, again, that brown paper bag tests and, you know, how, you know, the darker you were, the more mistreated you were, and so forth and so on. So I understand where it comes from now. But back then, you know, it was something that I really struggled with, you know, and a lot of us who are darker, we really struggled with that.
Yeah.
And now the other side of it is, you know, at the same token, some of the real light-skinned folk have issues that they have to deal with.
Separate issues, right.
Right. So they deal with it from their aspect, but it's not the same as how we deal with it. Because when you're at the bottom of the spectrum, you get it more. So I'm not trying to lessen what they go through and what, you know, because a lot of them have to deal with their own people not considering them black or black enough or whatever the case may be. So, you know, some of that, if you know, to be devil's advocate, some of Stephen A's comments and other people's comments could be going towards Ayesha Curry because of the fact that she's so light that people are not, you know, they're not looking at her as if she was dark-skinned. So maybe if she was dark-skinned and she made those same comments, we may not be even having a conversation about it. You know what I mean? So, again, it still comes down to the whole black issue, the whole race issue, the whole color issue, the whole caste system issue. You know, that all comes back into full play. So, you know, I think, you know, when it comes to her maybe not understanding that, and she may not have even considered that in itself. She's more so dealing with, it's her husband, you know, she's sticking up for her husband, you know, and all of the comments that's coming behind her sticking up for her husband, she probably feels is not necessary. Yeah, I don't even know if she's taking it to the depth of thinking about the broader scale or the game inside the game, as I like to call it.
The game inside the game. Okay, I like that. Yeah, that's the perfect way to explain it. Right.
So I don't know if she even, you know, thought about that. I don't even know if Stephen A, like I said, I don't know if that was his intent or that's where he was coming from or where he was alluding to. I hadn't seen the entire interview or what he said just yet. But it is real, that aspect of it. You know, and it is an interesting thing to see. Well, why is it that LeBron's wife doesn't get, if this is the greatest player on the planet?
Right.
You know what I mean? You would pretty much figure that you would want to try to get more insight from his wife. You know, you don't get too much, you know, of that from him. And again, it could be a conscious decision between, you know, LeBron and his family to, you know, shield his family from having to deal with that, because that's in itself is a lot to deal with, you know, having these people invade your privacy and stuff. So there's a lot to be said for that. And maybe she could be wise in her thought process and be like, nah, you're not going to use me like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see. But one of the things also, like, look at, you know, you take a Michelle Obama. You know what I mean? Beautiful sister. You know, of the darker persuasion. You know what I mean? And let's take her versus some of the other first ladies and the type of press that she gets. We're talking global press. We're not just talking about, you know, blurbs here and there about it, but we're talking about the press machine on a whole. She doesn't get that same type of love. You know, she doesn't get that same, like, that, but you gotta acknowledge her because she makes it. First of all, she holds her own, and she's out there doing a lot of different things but that would put her in positions where you got to have media coverage. But for the amount of stuff that she does, when you start looking at her resume and what she's has done since her husband's been in office, you know, you would more play and a whole lot more press for her, and that hasn't been the case. So, you know, again, there's a lot of sisters that you can point to. You go into the entertainment business where you see it like on entertainment. You don't see a lot of the dark-skinned sisters getting those bigger roles and stuff like that. It's not happening for them. You know, it's just not happening for them. So it's a lot to be said about that.
Right.
You know, so I would not be surprised in the least if that's the case with the media. And I would be more apt to say that, yeah, that's definitely something that's in the mix. Mm-hmm. But to say that Ayesha Curry kind of thought that through, or that's in her thought process, I don't know the sister, so I couldn't say that it is or isn't. Mm-hmm. But she should understand, if she really took the time to kind of look at it, and I'm sure that she may understand it, that there's something to it. She may not have put the two together in this situation, but I'm sure that she understands that, you know, there is some privilege to being a lighter skinned black person than it is to being a darker skinned black person.
Indeed. And on that note, Brother Mike, leave the people some contact info, man. So they could get in contact with you, hit you up. They might want some advice, you know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Again, once again, the telephone number is 347. 347. I just forgot my own telephone. 347-661-4336. My email, mr_mharper@yahoo.com. I'm actually about to change that, but for now, y'all can use that. Hit me up via email, but telephone is always the best way. You can also, once again, giving a shout out to my brothers and sisters at Sankofa Community Empowerment. And also, I wanted to take this moment, or a few interviews back, Brother Rich gave me the opportunity to talk about some of the things that we did. Again, I can't thank him enough, and I wanted to personally thank every person who took the time to donate to our organization. With that, we was able to put on a beautiful Kwanzaa event. We was able to. That's what's up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We were able to, you know, do some community forums and things of that nature. So your support was very much appreciated, and I know it came from the heart from a lot of folks, because y'all don't know me from a can of paint, a lot of y'all, and I know a lot of it came off the strength of me being on Brother Rich's program. But I just really, really, really appreciate us. And on behalf of Sankofa Community Empowerment, I wanted to thank everyone who gave their support, and those who haven't yet and you still want to, there's always time. You can always, you know, go on our website, Sankofa. It's sankofacommunitympowerment.org. Just look us up. You can go online. And you can donate. You have our that's on our website. You can go to the webpage and donate via PayPal or whatever, however you see fit. And again, I just inspire y'all. Now is the time for us to get involved in our communities. I'm gonna donate right now to Sankofa Community Empowerment. Big Brother Rich. That's a little. Now he's giving this to me, so y'all see that. Y'all need to know that. Y'all can check him up and say, hey, y'all call him up and say, hey, did Brother Mike give y'all that $5 that Brother Rich, so that y'all know a brother ain't pocketing money for himself. You know what I mean? I pride myself on being honest when it comes to the people's bread. So, yes, appreciate that, Brother Rich. And if anyone else want to marry that with some 5s, 10s, 100s, thousands. But you know what? This is a real live example of how money circulate, because the people support my channel. They donate to me. They support. That's why I'm able. I got a backdrop now and more microphones. They're showing love. So in turn, I can show love to you, and in turn, you can show love to the next black man or woman, and in turn, that black man or woman can show love to the next black man or woman. Right. You know, and it goes in a circle, and that's what black economics is. Just it circulates the money, and eventually it gets back to the person that gave the money the first time. Absolutely. So it's a real live example. Just to add on to what you're saying, big brother. So real quick, Shout out to Pharaonic.
Oh yeah, Pharaonic brand. Yeah,
This is
they do their
Pharaonic
thing.
brand right here. So
They do
whatever
their
money
thing.
that I make, and it's not this money now. Let's be clear. I'm not talking about the money that people donate, but whatever money I make, I try to put back into our people as well. So you got this from Pharaonic right here. This right here, this bracelet right here, nice piece here. Sister Kafunya, who comes here at
Nicholas.
Nicholas.
Yeah.
You can find her here a lot, doing a lot of great work in the community. This is a bracelet that she did. This is from a brother Lee, another bracelet that he did. This watch is actually from a black-owned company. I don't have the information right now because I got it at one of the Dance Africa. But I have their card at the crib, and I'll definitely forward it on to Rich, the information. So this shirt again, Pharaonic. These shorts I'm wearing I got from Nicholas. So it's all about. Yes, it's all
You
about.
you ain't
putting back.
playing.
Now,
You ain't
absolutely.
playing.
This hat
Yeah.
right here that I'm rocking,
Uh-huh.
I got it from a store right here, a black-owned store right here on Fulton and Willoughby. Yeah, right on the corner of Fulton and Willoughby. Got this cap right there. So it's just like you said, it's about circulating that money, circulating that dollar, and us, supporting each other in what we do. Few minutes, I'm about to dig in my pockets, purchase some DVDs from Brother Rich, who's always been a long time supplier of the hood and one of my favorite suppliers in the hood of, conscious information. So this is what it's really about. At the end of the day, this is really, really about. And the last thing that I want to say is to this brother right here. I'm so proud of the work that this brother has done. It is always a pleasure and a blessing to see someone that we talk about, like I've talked to this brother for, hours on hours on things that we wanted to do and things that we wanted, how we wanted things to go
Right.
and stuff.
Yeah.
And to see how this brother is growing consistently and really changing and doing this beautiful work. And, to me, it's like he's picking, and I always say this, to me, it's like he's picking up, the mantle of some of our greats, Brother Gil Noble and stuff like that. I call him the Gil Noble of the hood. You know what I mean?
Good look.
So
Thanks,
to
brother.
me, I think he's picking up that mantle and carrying it, in his day and in his time and in his way. And it's just, I'm so proud of this brother, and it's such a blessing to be able to be a part of some of his greatness and some of the things that he's doing. So those who are out there supporting him, please continue to support this brother. We need brothers like him in the hood, whether you agree with everything he says or not. The need for brothers like him and the need for that independent voice, that uncompromising black voice, is greater than ever. So please continue to support this brother in everything that he does. Peace.
Indeed. On that note, we signing out, family. Peace. Peace, family. This brother Rich from UGR, urging all my viewers and subscribers to help support the channel by donating just $1 to the UGR PayPal account. We appreciate the viewership and support, and we understand the power of a dollar. If you benefit in any way, shape, or form, we ask that you donate $1, whether it be monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly, or yearly, so that we can build our brand to compete with the NBCs, the MTVs, and the Foxes of the world. I figured since Kanye could ask Mark Zuckerberg for 1 billion, I could ask my subscribers to donate $1 so I could make the best possible content possible. The main objective of this channel is to inspire you to become the greatest version of yourself. So hopefully throughout the years of you watching this program, you have been inspired to become the greatest version of yourself. If you would like to donate, you could go to www.paypal.com and send a donation to richandmerit7@yahoo.com. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your program.